Hello, and welcome back to Novel Gaming.
I'm Doug.
I'm Katie. You ready to talk gaming transformations?
Yeah, let's do it.
Our prompt was to pick a video game, a character, a franchise, or whatever video game related that had undergone some sort of change or transformation or evolution. We didn't really specify what any of that meant, though. And I don't know about you, Doug. I had a little bit of a challenge coming up with my three. So I'm excited to hear about what you came up with and your thought process and all that. I don't know. Did you struggle at all to come up with three?
I did, and when you pitched it as one of the possible ideas, my initial gut reaction was like, oh my god, not that. That's way too hard. But then I thought about it and was like, well, that's why I should do it then, right?
Oh,
that's kind of I think it would be fun to sort of make it a challenge, and it was. But I think I came out okay. I've got sort of one that's probably an obvious answer for me. That's something I hadn't thought about in maybe a decade or so. So I'm glad that we did this. And then one that's very, very new, within the past week.
I'm excited to hear. Would you like to kick us off? You want to go back and forth?
Sure, let's do it.
I was just going to ask, are yours in any sort of order?
I will, not in any order that really matters, but I'm going to do my most obvious one first, I think.
Okay.
So I'm just going to start with that, and that is just the Pokémon franchise.
Yep. I was like, maybe I should do Arceus, and I was like, no, Doug's going to talk about that.
The current conversation with Pokemon right now is holy crap, this started as a Game Boy game.
Right.
Sort of a slow as hell, turn-based, really sort of simple RPG. And now it's, expanding into open world, 1,000+ monsters, changing the way it tells stories, all that sort of stuff. And it's wild to think about. If you had shown me what Pokemon game I'm playing now to me at 10 years old, my head would have exploded.
Yeah. Yeah, even just the gameplay mechanics and how you do things really within the past year have been very significant changes in that I personally love.
If you told me 5 years ago I wouldn't have to use a computer to sort my team, I would have I would have thought you were a demon, sent to trick me or something. No way. Pokemon's come a long way.
For real.
Oh yeah. Well, what's the first thing you've got on your? Did you order your list in any particular way?
So the order they're in is the order I thought of them.
Oh, great. I was going to say what was the first thing you thought of, but then I was like, well, that might not be the order they have them in.
Yeah, no, it totally was. The first thing I thought of is the first thing I'm going to talk about.
Perfect.
Which is the transformation of Final Fantasy VII into Final Fantasy VII Remake, and both are still good games. So whether you play the original or the remake, you're getting a good experience, I think. But the remake has beautiful updated graphics, solid voice acting. They changed the combat from turn-based combat in Final Fantasy VII, the original one, into real-time combat. The kind of biggest thing is that the remake takes about the first few hours of Final Fantasy VII and dives deep. It turns it into a 35. It turns 5 hours into 35 or 40 hours. Yeah. So you get a deeper look at the main characters, but also side characters. You get to know them a lot more. You get more of a feel for the, setting of Midgar. Mm-hmm. So that it just goes deeper into a lot of things.
Yeah.
Well, what was your second?
Yeah. So my second one is the one that I actually am most glad we did this episode for. And I landed on the character of Clementine from the Telltale Walking Dead series.
Oh my God. gosh.
Yes. I want a character that very clearly starts in one place and undergoes a massive transformation. There aren't a lot of games I've played tons of entries of the series in. So like I could think of lots of examples that would fit this episode, but that I couldn't necessarily speak to. Clementine I can speak to. I played those games. I anticipated those games. I was playing them as they were coming out.
Yeah.
And I love the character of Clementine. I love the character of Lee, and I love the character of Clementine in the first game on this duo of an not older, but like an adult man who takes care of a younger girl. Sounds very Last of Us, but is in fact The Walking Dead.
Did you kill it?
And the little girl's name is Clementine. And when you start the very first game, I think she's like 8 years old.
Yeah, she's a baby.
And then she stays a character throughout the series. And by the time you're done playing the games, she's like 16 or 17 years old. So you've played her journey of almost a decade. And she goes from being this little sort of abandoned isn't the right word because it's a zombie apocalypse, but like lost girl essentially, who needs taking care of, into the protagonist in a zombie apocalypse property where she's very capable and making decisions of her own that are as difficult as the ones Lee was making for her when she was a child.
Doug, that's so good.
Well, what was the second thing you thought of?
Yeah, so the second thing I thought of, I was thinking about a Zelda game. So Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
The game where there's a moon that has a scary face that stares at you, God. And you wear masks. Generally in Zelda games, there are certain kind of beings that you tend to meet, right? So there's Gorons, the big beefy
like
beings.
Mountain folk, right? They're like mountain or desert folk, typically.
Yeah, mountains. There's the Zora, which are the kind of fish-like people in the water. There's the Gerudo, which are the desert people that are usually women. And normally these, beings are all around different kind of dungeons that or temples in Zelda terms, that you go in, you get new powers, you get new clothing, all this kind of stuff. In Majora's Mask, there are still these beings, right? These communities, but you get masks that you can wear that turn you into some of them and give you those powers. So, like, you get a Goron mask, you put it on, and you turn into Goron Link, who is super strong, or you get a Zora mask and you put that on and you turn into Zora Link, who can swim underwater super gracefully, right? So the masks in this game, at least some of them, totally transform you into different Links.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to hear your final pick.
Yeah, this is one that I actually just played within the past couple days. It's a super short game. I wonder if you've played it before. It's called Florence is the game.
Oh, no, but I've seen that. It looks cute.
It is, and the character is Florence Yo from the game Florence, but also the game Florence. It's super duper short. You can play it in like an hour.
Oh, nice.
The reason I felt it made sense here is, one, I think that the way the game communicates story and dialogue is kind of transformative in its like by nature. I think there is no voice acting, and there is next to no dialogue written on screen. But there is a clear story being told, and there are conversations being had between characters, and like full emotional journeys being had that I think are all really clearly communicated based on how you interact with what is happening on the screen. And the game itself is about a character transformation. So it's about a character who kind of, I think, needs something and maybe thinks they have it in one way and then find out they get it a different way. And ends up, I think, sort of better and happier by the end of the game. And I think it's kind of an inspiring game. I felt really connected to it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I think it's very cool. Well, what's your last one?
Yeah, so my last one is another Final Fantasy thing. This time it's a character. So my last one is Yuna from Final Fantasy X and X-2.
Oh, what a good pick.
Yeah. In Final Fantasy X, Yuna, so she is part of the main party, but she's not the protagonist. And she's extremely kind and quiet and sincere and kind of like meek. I feel like she lets people kind of control what she does or choose her direction. She doesn't kind of enact her own will. She kind of goes with what others think. And she's also a summoner, which is in the world of Final Fantasy X and X-2, a religious figure, kind of like a priest type thing, maybe.
Yeah.
And she's a healer. Anything you would add to Yuna in Final Fantasy X, Doug?
I mean, especially if we're talking transformations, like, yeah, she starts from this place of having like a very specific, almost strict vocation and like serves a community in such a way that they expect a lot from her and how she acts and behaves. And then she goes on a journey, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what more could you ask for?
Yeah. And the journey that she goes on in 10 leads her in 10-2 to still be kind and, sincere and stuff, but she's way more outgoing and way more outspoken. So she's like, I'm even going to put on a pop concert.
Hell yeah.
You're going to listen to me sing and be on stage in a way that I never would have been on stage. That's way more performative. That's way more... Final Fantasy character designs are always, like, risque, but way more risque. And she's also, like, way more kind of athletic and physical.
Such a good pick. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that was awesome. I really like that, especially because there were different kinds of things on our list. So,
yeah.
If you want to hear a longer version of this conversation, check out the link to our podcast episode in the description below.
And feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoy our content.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. Bye.
Bye.